For many of us, we do know what a Purple Heart represents. It is a military honor that is dedicated to the soldiers who have served our country and who are either wounded or they gave their life. Well, for Leo Connelly Jr., he was just awarded this Purple Heart, but this award goes way further than just a simple medal. It was the late 1960s, and Leo Connelly Jr. was a hero. He had just returned home from the Vietnam War after saving lives on the battlefield and somehow managed to live despite being stabbed in his side by the enemy. Leo Connelly was a hero. He just didn't know it.
I'm talking about an era when we come home, the country didn't accept us. The country spit on us. There was no ticker tape parade when we come home.
He was just a teenager when he was drafted into the Vietnam War, and what he experienced is hard to hear and even harder to imagine.
And the orders was anything, when you go into the straw huts, which was their home, kill anything that moves. Well, you know, I'm fresh out of high school. I'm going, you know, I got to physically go in there and do killing. You know, that's what I was trained to do. So I go in, and actually the first killing I done, I went into a hut. I killed Charlie. That's the Viet Cong. We known him as Charlie. And there was some movement over in the hut when I was in there, and I spun around and I killed the two that were there. And it was a mother and a kid. You know, so I killed all three of them. And today I have trouble living with that, because that's, you know, it didn't dawn on me what I was doing until, like, later on in life, that you know, that's the casualties award. This is the collateral damage that gets done.
He was programmed to fight, but not to feel.
I try to talk to people to find out, you know, is this what we're supposed to do, and is this what we're over here for? But nobody would talk to me, because, and as I got into my tour, I see why. There's so many guys die so fast. You don't want to make friends with them. You don't want to be in a foxhole where you and I are friends. You get killed, and then it affects how I react to war.
And that not being able to feel or talk about what he experienced led to a downward spiral, which was fueled by alcohol and rage. Leo's friend and local bartender, Doreen, watched as he made bad decision after bad decision.
So coming home from the service, that's all they knew how to do was drink, and nobody talked about anything, so he was drunk every day of his life. Smoking cigarettes, getting drunk, that's all you knew.
There was a part of Leo I didn't like. There was a part of Leo that I'd like to pull the chapter out of that book, but if you got to know the whole story about Leo, then you got to read the whole chapter. There's some good stuff in there, there's some bad stuff, so, and that's me.
For many veterans, this might be where their story ends, but not for Leo, not for this undeniable hero.
I'm the kind of guy, I don't give up and I don't back up for nobody. So I wasn't giving up on this. I felt I needed to have closure in my life on that part of my life, that chapter.
He got his life back on track. He quit drinking, he learned from his rage, and he learned that no good would ever come from either. He took his experience and decided to help veterans who were just like him. Years later, he found his friend Doreen and the power of love, undeniable love. Doreen gave Leo a safe place to talk about what he had gone through while he was at war.
I'm very blessed to have the wife I have here, who's my father-in-law was 15 years Army, so I married a woman that's not only compassionate and loving to me, she also very supportive and understands what I'm going through, and I'm able to share that with her because of her dad and my father-in-law being he was in the Army and kind of being a hero himself, that he was fortunate enough to get me this wife as his daughter. But it made her pushing me supportively to help me kind of learn the tools I needed to get by this. It isn't going to go away. If people say, well, gee, you know, get over it. You don't get over it. What you do is you learn how to deal with it.
The two were married in 2001, and so Leo and Doreen joined forces to help get veterans the benefits and awards they earned. But what about him? What about the day that he was wounded and still decided to save lives of his fellow soldiers?
Well, when I went to go down, Charlie cut me on my arm. I got the scar here. And then I went to get my knife to kill him, and he stuck me in my side. Thank God it didn't hit the spleen. It went in, you know, he stabbed me. And then I cut his throat, I killed him. And then I grabbed the comrade, I picked him up as I was bleeding, brought him to the helicopter. The Captain Hudson, in fact, I had the honor of talking to him a couple of months ago, and he had given me an order to get on the ship. Well, I heard pop, pop, pop. I heard more firing going on. I wasn't going to leave nobody in that jungle.
It was going to be a new kind of fight for Leo and Doreen, a fight to prepare documents, interviews, and paperwork to prove that he too deserved the distinction of the Purple Heart. With the help of Carl Nunziato and Congressman Tim Ryan, the man with the biggest heart received his Purple Heart decades after he returned home from war.
He knows a lot of people because he does so much good. So all the people that help him are all the people he helps in some way. And that's just made it easier for him to accomplish this after those years.
Life's a book, and there's chapters in that book. And I feel if you don't get closure on that chapter, you can't continue the book. This was a void that I felt, this Purple Heart, I felt would have brought closure to my tour in Vietnam. I thought it speaks a lot. I was very humble to make it happen. Mm-hmm. I was glad it happened. But it shows that not only did I serve my country honorably, I spilled blood for this country. And I think out of the 1% that went to combat, 1% went in the military of the population, 1% went to combat. You need to let the 99% know the price of freedom.
And for Leo Connelly and his wife Doreen, of course, their story doesn't end there. They continue to help so many veterans in our area, of course, get the benefits that they deserve, Michael, and the awards that they deserve.
Yeah, I think it's frustrating it took so long, but I'm glad they finally got it right.
Right, exactly. It takes a while. And for those of you who were as interested in this story as we were, the extended interview, the full interview, is on our website and on our Facebook page. So just log on to valleyspotlight.com or find us on Facebook. And to Leo and Doreen, thank you for truly sharing the real story that goes way beyond just the actual medal.